Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. A Morgan silver dollar made of pure gold? That may be what is coming if some have their way. Let's explore the possibilities and of what could be coming in 2021 with a new program by the United States Mint. Yes, this comes to us from Coin World, and this was shared with me by Silver Honda, who drives a blue Honda. And maybe after reading this, he may consider buying a gold Honda. Yes, indeed. This is very interesting and fascinating. I've spoken about this in a prior video that the United States Mint was considering, or there's legislation that Congress is considering that would authorize the Treasury and the Mint to produce 2021 Morgan and peace dollars from the, and one of them may be a Carson City Morgan dollar. So let's see what this says. With proposed legislation, which has not been passed yet, but it is something that many of us think would be very exciting for the hobby. They're seeking a commemorative Morgan and peace dollars for 2021. It's languishing in Congress now, but there is a possible alternative, a 2021 CC Morgan gold dollar. So the U.S. Mint Director David J. Ryder made the announcement during the 4th Annual Numismatic Forum held October 24th and 25th in Philadelphia. Producing a commemorative silver dollar requires congressional approval, while the Mint has broader authority to issue gold coins without the need for action in Congress. We'll touch on that in a moment. H.R. 3757 was introduced July 16th to authorize production of Morgan and peace dollars to mark the centennial anniversary of the production transition between the two designs in 1921. Including Morgan dollar struck at the former Carson City Mint in Nevada, and a high-relief peace dollar, and that would be something to see. I'd love to see a high-relief peace dollar for sale again. That would be really cool. The proposed Morgan and peace dollar legislation, championed by Thomas J. Urim, chairman of the Citizens Coinage Advisory Committee, and fellow CCAC member Michael Moran, is competing with a number of other commemorative coin bills for 2021 and is not gaining much legislative support, Ryder said. If the legislation were to pass Congress and become law, an unspecified number of Morgan dollars from the maximum combined output of 500,000 proof and uncirculated Morgan and peace silver dollars authorized in the legislation would be struck with the CC Mint mark at the former Carson City Mint in Nevada, which now houses the Nevada State Museum. That's very exciting. It would be the first time that we've seen silver dollars or any coin struck from there under the authority of the United States Congress in quite some time. The production would likely be executed on a coinage press hauled from a current U.S. Mint production facility, presumably Denver or San Francisco. During the numismatic forum, Ryder said Mint officials were considering production at the former Carson City Mint of a Morgan 1-ounce 4/9 fine gold dollar. The production would presumably be executed under the same discretion exercised in producing the Centennial Gold Winged Liberty Head dime, Standing Liberty quarter dollar, and Walking Liberty half dollar in 2016. The West Point Mint strikes the American Buffalo $100 gold coin on a 1-ounce 4/9 fine gold planchets. It was not disclosed whether a Morgan gold dollar production would require a separate crafted planchet. David Croft, U.S. Mint Associate Director for Manufacturing, noted that transporting the necessary coinage press to Carson City from either San Francisco or Denver, along with its setup and maintenance, would cost roughly $1.8 million. Yeah, and that is a strike against the legislation, pun intended there, because most of these other commemorative programs that the United States Mint does they only do under the authority of Congress, and Congress does these commemorative coin programs to raise money for the causes that they represent. And so this is a strike against them, because this program, the money would go to more than likely some coin collecting or coin related charity, and that is something that more than likely is not a political win for most of the Congress people who would propose such legislation. And when you take into account to move the presses over to the Carson City would cost almost $2 million, that means it's probably not going to get passed, is my guess. No discussion disclosed how many Morgan gold dollars might be produced under the Mint's alternative proposal for the Morgan dollar recognition, nor which dyes would be used. But one thing we can say for sure is if this does happen, it's going to be very expensive, because they're going to want to cover their cost to move those presses from San Francisco or Denver over to Carson City, Nevada. So to cover their costs there, plus it's going to be 1 ounce of gold, plus usually 1 ounce gold coins from the United States Mint, our collector versions are very expensive anyway. You know, we're talking about upwards of well over $2,000 for these at today's gold prices is what you're going to pay for one of these coins, which is nice, but boy, I tell you what, that's going to be very prohibitive for a lot of people in my view. Even though it's an exciting venture and would be kind of cool, it's a Hail Mary pass. Now, going back to that original legislation here, let's go back and take a step back in time to where we talked about the 2016 gold coins for the centennial, for the dime, the half, and the quarter from 1916, and these were the this is under the authority that the Treasury Secretary had. And a statute exists that will permit the U.S. Mint to strike these coins, and but they needed first the permission of the Secretary of the Treasury. In this case, Secretary of the Treasury Jacob Lew has not yet granted permission, and the decision is his. They eventually got that permission, and they got it. That was all they needed in order to produce these under Chapter 31 of the United States Code. And so that is kind of where it is. So let's take a look at that section here. And this is the section here, Secretary C. The Secretary may continue to mint and issue coins in accordance with specifications in paragraphs 7, 8, and 9, and 10 of this subsection. And 7, 8, 9, and 10 are basically talking about the bullion programs here. Right here, and that is a $50 gold coin, a $25 gold coin, and a $10 gold coin. But what is the important thing about this is the subsection of the same time the Secretary in minting and issuing other bullion and proof gold coins under this subsection in accordance with such program and procedures and coin specifications, designs, varieties, quantities, denominations, and inscriptions as the Secretary and in the Secretary's discretion may prescribe from time to time. So that is the authority from which these programs are issued. And I also think that is also how the program occurred with the American Liberty gold coin program. And other metals. By the way, the Secretary of the Treasury can produce metals as well from time to time. And so that is the very interesting, and this is also very interesting here in Section K. The Secretary may mint and issue platinum bullion coins and proof platinum coins in accordance with specifications, designs, varieties, denominations, and inscriptions as the Secretary in the Secretary's discretion may prescribe from time to time. Now, platinum is not nearly as in demand, so likely this is not going to be done very often, but I think that's neat that they're able to do that. And actually, it was under this designator that that I think was with what led to the possibility of creating a platinum coin to pay off the national debt. So that was an interesting side note here. but very interesting. And so, with what we had discussed here in terms of the anniversary Morgan dollar, their Hail Mary pass is there. It's looking more and more like that the actual legislation, the original legislation, will probably not pass because of the cost, or they may disguise, if they do decide to do it, they may end up scrapping the CC portion of the legislation in order to get it passed, and they can do this. I would be fine with that. I think it'd be cool just to have the designs, not necessarily to have them minted at the Carson City Mint, and in order to do it. But my guess is that's probably one of the sticklers for the legislation. But even as such, these other commemorative coin programs that are probably out there competing with it will win, because it's going to be going towards causes that the politicians can say that are beneficial to the community or what have you, to help in their re-election. That's how these things typically work. A coin to the betterment of coin education or what have you, or money going back to the ANA or something like that, is not a political high point for many of these politicians. So this gold proposition is a Hail Mary pass, in my opinion. And my guess is they'll probably test this and see if there's how much interest it will be. I think there will be a considerable amount of interest if the price is reasonable. But if the price is over $2,000 for each one of these, and I know it will be, then you're probably going to have limited interest in this type of thing. But we shall see. Post your thoughts below. Would you be a buyer of these coins, of the gold Morgan dollar, if this thing ends up becoming law or approved by the Secretary of Treasury? If this thing gets produced, would you spend over $2,000 for a Morgan gold dollar? And what do you think about the idea of it being in gold? Post your thoughts below. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.